Hi there, this is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. I'm here with a fun deck. I don't expect this deck to actually work very well, but we're going to go ahead and do 4 games with this and blow some tickets here on some 2-man queues. This is a deck I like to call Immortal Spam because it's throwing in cards that you're just going to spam the battlefield with. 24 1-drops to be exactly. We have 2 Immortal Servitudes in the deck because I wanted to make a deck with Immortal Servitude and 1-drops, and this is the best I can come up with is a black-white. I think black and white have the best 1-drops in the game right now, so I thought I'd go with that with Tormented Heroes and Rakdos Cackler being other 2/1s or 2/2 creatures that can come into play for his turn, which is probably the deciding factor whether you can kill your opponent by turn 2 or by turn 4 or 5 or not. We have the Mortal Servitude to get us back in games, and I'm thinking about putting maybe 1 or 2 more in the sideboard, maybe instead of like God's Willing. We'll see. I really want to play this card. You guys all know my love for this Immortal Servitude deck. So basically the basis of this deck, we'll go by converted mana cost here, is you're playing 20 lands. That's all you need to play because you're curving out at 4 with Immortal Servitude, and then all of the 1-drops available in white and black that are decent. In fact, we're even playing the favorite Hoplites and whatnot. So, and then we are going to play as many pump spells as possible. I'm trying these Dauntless Onslaughts to see if they're worth putting on favorite Hotlight slash Tormented Hero to trigger the heroic. If not, I've got these Fortifies and these Prophet Lots or like Willing in the sideboard that might be better than these Dauntless Onslaughts. So we'll see how it works. But then we've got 6 total buffs with Spear of Heliodes and Path of Braveries. Path of Braveries hopefully will trigger that off quite quickly and be able to be above 20 life, so we'll be able to get the +1/+1 from the Path of Bravery. Then again, yeah, this has some reach with Immortal Servitude. We get everything back and hopefully can swing in against the like Supreme Verdict decks or control decks, or even decks that use like the Cures and Doomblades and things like that. We can eventually get back all the stuff they put in the graveyard. So again, I don't expect this deck to do the best. I just really want to try a bunch of 1-drops. Just a spam deck because you're going to spam the battlefield as quickly as possible. Of course, Ratchet Bomb is a nightmare for this deck. I've got in the sideboard to combat. Maybe I don't even need to go these God's Willing. Maybe another Immortal Servitude. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to put another Immortal Servitude in here in the sideboard against the decks that run Ratchet Bomb and Supreme Verdicts. And then I've got a Blind Obedience because it's so easy to extort all of these. We're in the extort colors. Again, I explained the Fortifies. Thought I'd just put a 2 Read the Bones if we need to go up against a deck that we need card advantage. I thought about going maybe a Underworld Connections, but Underworld Connections seems a bit high mana casting for this deck. And then Orzhov Charm is my removal of choice. If I have to go up against a Reckoner deck, I'll charm it away. And of course this one is kind of nice because you can actually return a creature you control. I guess it's just my hand though, huh? Okay, return to a creature card with current mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it kind of doubles up with that. And in fact, I might just want to go another Orzhov Charm again. And maybe take out I'm going to take out a Dauntless Onslaught from the main board, and we're going to put in a 1 of Fortify and see how that works. And there we go. I think we're going to call this good. We're going to save this up. We're going to see how Immortal Spam works. I'm going to play 4 2-man queues, so here goes 8 tickets away. Probably, like again, I don't expect to get any wins out of this, but if we do, they'll be hilarious. This is how I like to start deck building. This is like, I get an idea, I just hurry and build it, I hurry and test it, and you start to find some cool interactions. I would never have come up with Bug Immortal Servitude if I wouldn't have had the failed attempts at like Immortal Servitude 1-drops that I tried, or the Immortal Servitude Haste 2-drops that I tried, or even the Immortal Servitude 3-drop that I tried. And then all of a sudden, you know, I started putting pieces together and like, wow, Blood Artist works so synergistically with all these other cards, and I was able to make that sweet deck that I miss so much. The Bug Immortal Servitude deck that probably my most popular video I've ever put out. So something cool might actually come from this. So I'm gonna actually try this Immortal Servitude. Very cheap deck actually. I could have done this for a playing on the budget episode. Just real quickly, we have a lot of things going for the channel. We have a lot of upcoming videos. I know I've been a little bit slacking lately. I've started up a local game store here in my hometown, so I've been very busy with that. But with that comes some cool projects that we're going to come up with. I am going to be doing a video series called Rogue Rescue for GatheringMagic.com that you can submit me your deck. What we're going to do is it's kind of a spoof on, if you've ever seen the show Bar Rescue or a few other of these reality TV shows where I think it's called Hell's Kitchen. No, what is it called? Anyway, where people are failing at something, like Bar Rescue, for example, they're failing at their bar, and they bring in a dude to come clean up their bar and make it actually successful. And so we're going to do a spoof on that, kind of a parody of that, to where people that are having a hard time with F&M or having a hard time with their local friends or whatnot with their decks, they're going to submit me their deck, and I'm going to revamp it. I was going to think about calling it Rogue My Deck, kind of a spoof on Pimp My Deck or Pimp My Car, but I think we decided with Rogue Rescue is what we're going to call it. So you can submit me your decks. I'd say about 90% of my emails that I receive from fans are people wanting me to look at their decks and improve their decks. And I thought that since that seems to be the interest of most of my player base, that we'd actually can turn it into a video series. So again, the whole rules for that, I don't know if we're going to be sending it to me or Gathering Magic. I think it's going to be going to Gathering Magic because they're going to be editing the first of the video. Is you have to make a video, and this will actually have your face, so it's going to kind of be just like those reality TV shows where, like, you know, help me, you explain your predicament, and then you take a video asking me, or if I have guest people on as well, to help you with your deck, and you know, explain the scenario. Maybe you're going 0-4 in F&Ms, maybe you want to beat your friend's deck, blah 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 blah. You send me a video of yourself talking about your deck, what's in it, and you know, kind of we'll do a pilot video to show you exactly how to do that. But I think this will be a good way to give back to the community, give you guys a little bit of a spotlight if you want to be on GatheringMagic.com. It's quite a big website, so if you want your deck featured on it and you want some help, like I said, 90% of my emails are usually people like, hey, look at my deck, what could I improve on this? So if you aren't camera shy, do a video, and you'll either be sending it to me or sending it to Gathering Magic, and we will hammer out the details, and we're going to get that video series up. I think it's going to be quite popular and quite fun to do. I love to build decks. This is what my Magic experience is. It was a great feeling winning a Pro Tour qualifier, not a Pro Tour, as a PTQ. Great feeling. It was an awesome feeling going day 2 at the Pro Tour. It was an awesome feeling meeting everyone, all the fans and whatnot that at GP Vegas and whatnot. But my most exciting, the thing that I love the most about Magic the Gathering is deck building. And so I'd love to see your lists, and I'd love to help you out with your list, and maybe we can brew some. This is how decks originate. Someone has a good idea, and then you build on it, and you get the community together and you build on it, you test it, and pretty soon you find other angles that other people have missed. I mean, if everyone just net decks 100% of the day, the format becomes very stale, and it's starting to get a little bit stale right now already. It's not nearly as diverse as it was during Return to Ravnica and Innistrad, because there's just too many duck cards that are just way more powerful than the rest of the field. But the next set could definitely spice things up. And I still think there's a ton of angles that people haven't quite realized, especially after a Pro Tour. It's really hard for new decks to kind of metastasize because everyone's seen the lists. It's been a very, very busy like Grand Prix weekends and Star City Open weekends and Pro Tour, and all those decks are very similar. There's a ton of different, like Green Devotion, Blue Devotion, Black Devotion, Mono Red, which is kind of a Devotion deck, and so we're all fixated on this devotion mechanic, but I think there's a lot of other angles that we can take from Return to Ravnica and from the Theros block that maybe have been overlooked because of just the duh-ness of how powerful devotion is. Anywho, so let's get back to this deck. I'm going to run this again in the 8-man queue. Oh, we're going to have Rogue Deck of the Month, so start brewing those decks. November, it is officially going to be started November 1st. If the website is not up and running, we're going to do it the old school way by probably either using Reddit or another forum where you can post your decks using tappedout.net or TCG Player or any other venue where you can actually post your decks. Hopefully we'll have a function up on our website, roguedeckbuilder.com, to actually compensate for that, but if that does not happen, we will officially start doing Rogue Deck of the Month, which again will be a huge prize. We're going to go out first, second, third, fourth, at least up to 4 prizes sponsored through GatheringMagic.com. And then I think Rogue Deck Builder or JRAT Games, who is our local game store, will actually throw in some more prize support for most creative deck, our fan favorite deck, and probably our favorite as the Rogue Deck managers our personal favorite decks, and we'll get some prize. We'll send some prize that way. Again, I really liked that last time we did it. It was clear back, man, in the summer, I think, when we did our last Rogue deck, and it was a pretty good hit. So, and it had a great response. I love to see your guys' deck list. So I'll talk about that more. I'll do a video log or something talking about this. Sorry to detract away from the deck tech here, but I think that's a good time to explain that. A few other things. I'm going to start doing a video series called Spike versus Johnny as well, where I'm going to be running a Rogue deck, and a friend of mine is going to be running a Spike deck, and we're going to actually tape that live and do some video commentary. So be looking forward to that. A lot of cool stuff coming up on the Roguedeckbuilder channel. Sorry I've been away. I've been very, very, very busy trying to start a local game store, but I'm going to start focusing back on the channel again, and we're going to get this community up and running. So let's play this deck. I hope you like this deck. It's a fun deck. It might go somewhere. Who knows? I might 4-0 this. This is Kevin from Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.